Basketball fans, welcome into Canada's home for talking hoops. This is the Hangout. I'm Akil Augustine, and damn, feels good to be back home. All right, my partner held me down for a bit. That is Dan Glavin, producer of the Toronto Raptors broadcast. This big guy followed me around since I was about 16 years old, tried to make a career out of it. His name's Vidal Messiah. And of course, my man, Faisal Kamisha, who is holding us down once again.
Got you, man.
I'm thanking you for coming out, but I really don't like the fact that you try to outstunt and outflex me every time you come on the show.
Listen, you set the standard, I exceed it. That's how it goes.
Hey, I like it. Let's get rolling.
Let's go.
The Toronto Raptors lose to the Cavaliers by 20. So the question is this an aberration, Faisal, or is this cause for concern?
Oh, man, like 20 games ago, I would not have cared about this. I still don't care about this.
No.
I think, again, everything about this Raptors team, and I think we all know this now, is about what happens in April, in May, and hopefully June, right?
Yes.
And so a game like this is going to happen over the course of a long season. If you play your cards right in those latter months, this won't matter at all. So I'm not too concerned with them losing to the Cavs. I know it's the Cavs. I know it's the Raptors. They had everybody there after a blowout win in Miami where they looked super good.
Yes.
I still don't care.
Three-point shooting
I still don't care. It's
Okay.
one of those things that happens.
Vidal Messiah, near blip on the radar?
Not a big deal. I mean, it was 82 games. Not a big deal, but just kind of indicative of kind of my beef for the NBA season. So there's too many lackluster games, taking nights off. I get it, but
This year they tried to spread it out. They started the season earlier.
yeah, the Raptors don't need to be worried about that. They slipped, they fell. Obviously, we weren't up for the game, and it's one game.
Dan, you were right there watching what happened. What did you see?
I mean, it was a back-to-back, so you give it a little bit of a little apology for that. But they have lost 3 of the last 5 now, so yeah, there's a little bit of concern. But you could also frame that as okay, there's room for improvement. There's 14 games left in the season. There's only one back-to-back.
The media's not going to frame it like that.
I'm framing it.
I don't think there's a need to frame
framing
it like that.
that.
I mean, there's no need to frame it like that.
Yeah.
You're what? There's 14 games left.
Once you
the
roll
team
out,
kind of has their identity at this point in the season. We know who the Raptors are. It's one meaningless game, and they knew that.
Yep.
And they took the night off. They didn't show up, and they lost the game.
They had 2 nights in Miami, you know?
Yes.
They didn't feel it on Sunday. You know when you feel it? You feel it today. I was just in Miami, too. Watching.
Okay.
I felt it on Tuesday when I came, like the day after I
Miami
came
is
back.
a
You know
trap.
what I mean?
It's
like,
a trap.
Well, it was funny because they were fine in New Orleans, they were fine in Miami, and then they get to Cleveland. I guess it had built
Listen,
up.
it hits you, right? Like it hits you.
It's a late onset hangover.
Also,
okay.
Cleveland played well. It wasn't just that the Raptors didn't show up. I mean, Cleveland, that was probably the best game they've played all year.
A lot of those
They
guys
were
are
good.
fighting for their own jobs and their own careers, and so you get it.
Well, some of them are fighting for their own jobs. Some of them are just fighting. Let's talk about Serge Ibaka and Marquise Chris. Marquise Chris has a collection of odd instances in his career. But why does Serge Ibaka keep throwing punches? This is the 4th instance where he's actually tried to take a man's head off. Vidal Messiah, explain this away.
Well, honestly, I have no idea why he throws punches, but
Real punches.
real punches. But unless this dude says something about your mama, your wife, your daughter, your son, I don't get how you get this upset where you're throwing haymakers and getting suspended for multiple games, losing pay. This is over the line. Like there was nothing physical about this play. Whatever he said, I want to know what he said.
So financially totaling like $500,000
man.
for Serge Ibaka. Dan Glavin, chime in because you, again, I always say this, you're there. So you've seen these instances. There was the one with Gasol, the James Johnson instance.
And
Robin
Lopez.
Lopez, sorry.
I mean, if you're asking me why or how did this happen, I can't answer these questions. I threw a punch once at my brother Randy when I was 15 years old, okay, 30 years ago. I still feel bad about it. Rand's, sorry, kid.
Wow.
But I don't get it. I mean,
first public apology to Rand.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
publicly,
you've been holding
yes.
that
Wow,
in.
come on, Dan.
30 years.
This show's cathartic.
30 years. But I mean, look, Serge has a short fuse.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen that over the years. This is the 3rd suspension. Something was said. Who knows what it was? But the truth is, you can't do that. We know you can't throw a punch in the NBA. These guys they're too big. They're too athletic. They can really hurt someone like we saw with Rudy Tomjanovich all those years ago, which is why fighting is absolutely banned. You cannot do that.
Well, the good news is that Serge continues to miss those punches as well. I think over 3. Like
Over
he's struck out now. Like it's 3 straight
point.
misses on punches, which is good because he's a lot bigger than a lot of the guys he's trying to punch, including Lopez, including John. Serge is a big, strong guy. So if he connects, that's 10, 15 games. I mean, thankfully he didn't connect, and that allowed, I think, the suspension, the discipline to be less than it is as well.
Now, do you think they made the right call with the amount of games and the amount of money? Because it's 3 games, equals $500,000.
Those last 2 incidents you mentioned, one game. So you're a repeat offender. You're swinging like 3 games. Yeah, that's $500,000 too. That's not nothing, right?
Yeah.
Like maybe it's, even to anybody, $500,000 is $500,000.
All right, well, let's jump ship now. Let's talk about something else. Kyle Lowry started the year on fire, and then took a little dip, but he was consistently spreading the ball around for his team. He's kind of picking up, he's upticking right now. A lot of people are concerned historically about Kyle Lowry in the playoffs at the end of the year. My question for you, I'll start with you, Vidal, again. Has Kyle figured it out?
Give me all the Raptor questions, why don't you? You know what?
The show's long. There's more stuff to come.
No, it's all good. You know what? I mean, he's a veteran.
But you think, what I'm saying? Like, there's those concerns about him.
Given the fact of what's happened here over the past year or so, and, I mean, I don't think he came into the season. He was, I think, determined, and he played that way. But a lot's happened, and I think him, and the team collectively with this dip, maybe with his play. They're getting ready for the playoffs. Like, it is what it is. They're getting ready.
But he's finding his rhythm now.
He's getting ready for a finals push. This is when it really matters, to be honest. Like,
do you have faith in him?
He's had an all-star season. I do have a trust that he's going to help lead the Raptors in, whatever is going to happen to the season. He's to play a big role in it. But I'm not. I mean, like I said, like they're playing for the finals. This is the end of a long regular season where
So you don't see another repeat performance from what we've seen in the past of Kyle Lowry?
No, I mean, but I'm not correlating that to what's happening now. I'm not connecting it. If he struggles in the playoffs and there's a matchup issue or a style of play issue, that's that issue in the playoffs.
But do you think that's what it's been?
I think the difference this year, though, is that he doesn't need to be the guy they rely on to do it, right? And so it's good that he's finding his scoring form. I think all other elements of Kyle Lowry have still been there. The passing, the defense, the post-up defense, the willingness to take charges. The scoring with Kyle Lowry, to me, this year is completely extra. That is an added bonus to everything else he does, because you have Kawhi scoring, you have Pascal that's scoring, you're going to have Marc Gasol, even over the next 3 games, develop more chemistry with this offense as well. I don't know if you need Kyle to score as much, so it's great to see him doing it. Where I tip my hat to him, really honestly, is how he's adjusted his game this season. He's really adjusted it, and to do that at this stage, and you're, this is what, 5th, 6th year here, going to the playoffs, to make that adjustment and kind of take a second seat, and still lead the team.
You might not need him to score, and I agree with what all the gentlemen on the couches here are saying. But you do need him to hit that 3-pointer. He needs to hit 2, 3, maybe even 4 3-pointers a night to really give the Raptors an edge that makes them better than everyone else. I love what you said about the defense. He's taking the charges like we've seen in the past. But what I really think you're seeing from Lowry that maybe is a step up and maybe, to answer your question, is going to help them in the playoffs is the leadership. And I think right now he can be the vocal leader without having to score the bulk of the points because Kawhi's there. Siakam is a reliable scorer now. And that we are seeing an on-the-floor leadership from Lowry. And I think that will be the difference this year over previous playoff years.
All right, well, I'm excited. It's almost that time. We're winding down the season. We'll wind down this segment. Still more to come here on Canada's Home for Talking Hoops. We got to talk about racism, I guess. I don't know. Russell Westbrook versus a fan in Utah. A precedent has been set. Zero tolerance necessary inside NBA arenas. We'll break it down when we return on Hangout.